what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain a number of different exercises, but for boxing or martial art. This isn't for kung fu extended stuff. This is just close-in stuff for hand stuff. And then I'll explain in better detail why I do this and how the clubs relate to all these movements. The first thing I teach most people, obviously, are the 5 movements, and I'm going to go over that in a moment. But first I want to show the 4 or 5 basic things I teach for fighters. If you get a young fighter in the gym and he's never ever done any kind of boxing before, and you want to teach him correct hand placement, different people are going to tell you different things about hand placement for fighters. They'll tell you touch your chin, other people tell you touch your eyebrows, some people tell you close your hand a little bit and lightly touch your cheek. Everybody's got a different methodology or a different way in which they explain this. But what we do know is this: the hands have to be held up by the head in order to protect, I call this the computer, but to protect your head. You can't get hit in the head, so, or you will, but you want to prevent it as much as possible. So the first thing I teach is just this, and this just comes back to the basic movement of somebody who's going to strike you, you're just covering. You can, and I want people to use the clubs and extend their arm all the way, but for the actual combative part, you don't want to lift your arm up like this because you're going to get punched in the face. Or if you reach your hand up here, leave yourself open. So you want to just, but the shoulder is what you want to try to move up and down. So, this is one of the first movements that I teach. And again, if you can see the way Jim's doing it, his elbows are away from his body. You don't want to do that. You want to bring your elbows in close. You want to try to keep your arms parallel to each other. The reason keeping the hands parallel to each other, if you can look at my arms, when we start to do the 5 basic movements, here's 1, here's 2, where's my elbows? I'm not doing this, and I'm not doing this. I'm bringing them in tight. And I want to be able to do that. That's rolling the shoulder. And the rolling of the shoulder carries over to punching, it carries over to blocking, it carries over to protecting your central line. If you're here, you want to do this more. Why do I need to protect this area out here? I don't really need to. I need to protect my body, so I try to keep my arm parallel. If I can bring my arms parallel and close, I can of course do this. But if I can hold my hands at a 45-degree angle, it doesn't mean I can protect. Why is this so important? I want to be able to move my hand like this for blocking. I don't pat the hand down like most people do. I use my arm this way to protect myself. Now, I'm not just moving my arm. I'm moving my shoulder, I'm moving my hips, and I'm stepping all at the same time. And that's how I get offline and or in closer and or I can block this basic punch. This is like a shield or a stick or a sword or a staff or whatever you want to call it. And I'm moving it this way. So the first thing I teach is this. The second thing I teach is this, the turning of the waist. You can teach him with the legs splayed this way, turning this way, and you won't. Right now he's just turning left to right about 30 degrees. Turn all the way and face this like that. And then you can do it with your feet, with using your feet, or not using your feet. What I mean by that is you can use it by just turning the waist and isolating the waist. You want to even, if you watch me, I'm facing forward. I want to actually try to turn around and almost face looking right behind me. I'm not straining my neck and going like this. But what I'm trying to get you to do is turn all the way so the elbows face behind you, this way. That's one exercise. So here's first, this is second. We have 3 or 4 variations of this. This is one with the stomach. Also, martially, or fighting-wise, if the guy goes low to punch you, you are going to go like this with your body, with your elbow. So your arm's going to go like this, and then you can launch this punch back out. So there's a reason for this. You can move this way, side to side, and you can turn. So you can turn, full extension, up and down, and then of course side to side. Side to side is for dodging a punch. What people don't understand about dodging or slipping or bobbing or dodging a punch with their head is they all want to overextend, but then you've got to recover from here, get back to position. With the lighter clubs, all I want people to do is understand that you're not just moving your head, you're dipping your hip. I'm just going to bend my right leg and not do anything else but just my leg and watch where my head comes off center. So if this was a line, when I do this, it's all I'm doing. It's little. I'm dipping my hips. People think it's the waist and going like this. And the other thing they think is it's moving your neck. It's not that either. And they think it's just turning their waist, and it's not that either. Have to move the hip. I'm dropping the hip just a hair.
And your head stays stationary, straight ahead, right?
You always want to keep your eye on the target. So by doing this, now you can also do this walking. All these exercises you can do walking. You can feel it. You can come this way. This. Again, I'm not doing this. It's okay to do this. We also do this in this exercise, which is similar to striking. But what we're trying to do here is we just want to get to the point so a person becomes comfortable moving their elbows enough and their shoulders enough and their arm enough to protect their head, to protect their temple, to protect their face, to protect. We're not lifting, we're not reaching our hands out like this. These are small movements. We can exaggerate every movement and make every movement large, but we want to try to stay small. Then the second thing is turning the waist. You can start like this, and just very robotically do like this. Then later you can start adding this flavor of turning the body. This next thing I'm going to show you is one of my absolute favorite things of everything, and it helps engage the waist more than anything, or as much as anything, excuse me. And that's when I do these exercises like this, I never just do them stationary. I do this. But I'm really reaching with that waist, and I'm not just doing this. So you can do this a number of ways. You can do 1, turn left, 2, center, center, turn right. And it looks easy
For you.
but it's not that
I
easy.
can see that.
Adding the extension from the Kung Fu, you can do this way,
Stretch it out.
but I'm trying to put the tip of this club in the same place every single time.
What I actually see is how you're driving straight up through your hips and your waist stretching way out.
Stretching way out.
Yeah.
Which,
See that.
look at this movement.
Mhm.
Now let's change this to a boxing stance and do it more like stepping.
Mhm.
So this isn't just so static or stationary all the time. Now, why am I doing that? It's for this. It's for this.
Right.
I'm not doing this with my arms.
No, you're extending.
Really trying to extend. So if I'm with a guy here and he's here,
I could actually see you doing that, how you're extending back here through your shoulders, through your back, where all your power is going to come from, and just this.
but it's the waist.
Yeah.
This added extra weight of the clubs has a tendency to help you extend more and give you more. There's that little bit of extra weight teaches your body. It's also much better for the recovery. When it's all the way there and it has to recover, you've got to hold this back. In martial art, in my opinion, everybody's all about the action and not the recovery. I call it recovery. Let's call it rebound.
Yeah.
Rebound, recovery. So when people punch, they're like, oh, that's fast.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's not. That's fast, but the reason is because I'm doing this.
Yeah, going back.
This, you can't just pull this back.
Right,
Nothing's
yeah.
going to happen.
Yeah.
But it's this. But where does that even come from? From
Right.
the waist. And it's this.
So you're taking this arm here, and when you rebound, you're pulling it back with your rear delts, your obliques, and you're taking. That's keeping you tight for more exposure to come back forward again.
So the same thing, if you go, what happens is teach people with no weight, then teach them with light weight, and then teach them with a little bit heavier weight. When you start looking at this movement, this extension is what you want. Could you do it with both hands? Yes, you can. I do this in my thing. This,
No, yeah.
so you can do this way, you can do one, you can do extension this way, and then you can also do this way. So, and then you can do it with walking. But the big thing is when the hands are out,
Right.
don't forget the waist.
Right.
And everybody does. So that'll help with that. So that's 3. First, 2, then extension. Now, a couple other things I do is, one is uppercuts.
Okay.
I do uppercuts with this, and everything changes when you have this extra weight unit. It's easy to do uppercuts. Everybody knows how to throw an uppercut. You need to plan it. When you're driving with your hip, you're throwing the hand up. But for the speed part, if you just do this, you're not going to get much. We're trying to teach whole body movement. So we need to if you do it with the club, give this a shot. It's not going to be easy at first. You can either hold the ball, hold it under the ball, or just hold right at the ball. And I just do this. And what I want people to do in the beginning, if they're not used to this, is make a bigger circle and just be good. Start using your legs, bounce on your feet, and just get this. Start big circle, like this, and then go to smaller circle, like this. And it really is just like a piston.
I can feel it. It's how I coordinate my hip drive into it at the same time.
Hard as hell to do.
Yeah.
You don't want to push out always as much as pump up.
So I should think about my fist.
Because you don't throw an uppercut from out here.
Right, yeah.
When you're in with an uppercut, it's all right here. So it's bang, bang. You know, you can, it's this, you're driving this up.
So everything we're doing.
And if your arm's out to the side, again, the elbows aren't clipped, if the elbows aren't in tight, when you're moving this hand up, he's going to trap you. The elbows is the key. Keeping the elbows in close to the
Everything's
body.
got to be visualized actually in the movement of the fight. That's all I'm duplicating.
The other thing too is you want those shoulders, this is where the rolling of the shoulders is important to get.
Forward.
So to get the rolling of the shoulder,
Right.
the palms are open, turn the palms and do this.
Yeah. I'm gonna do like this here.
Keep the elbows in close to the body, like this. But it's this, the rolling of the shoulder.
So the first movement I should actually practice is the larger circles and.
So what I show
then
people is
smaller.
I show them bigger hands this way,
Uh-huh.
bring the elbows in,
Right.
the hands this way, and then eventually you keep the hands this way, and like this. One of the easiest ways for people, in my opinion, to learn uppercut, everybody's got their own way of doing this stuff, is, I'll set the clubs down, is do this. See how relaxed I am?
Yeah.
Watch how fast that is.
Yeah, I feel tight.
Do this, but see now when I feel my shoulders getting tight, I purposely relax them. And what you're doing is your muscles are getting fatigued, so you're doing this already, so you're doing this. Because
Right.
you're trying to change the angle that those muscles are being used.
Mhm.
So if you just let loose, everything's loose, everything's light.
Yeah, I can feel it.
Everything's really loose, it's loose. See this?
Yeah.
And that may not seem like much, but if a guy goes to punch, and you do this, punch, punch, punch. This, you see this?
Yeah.
That's all I gotta do with my hand. You feel it pull you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it's just this motion.
That's all it is.
Now, we can also do this way, the opposite direction. See the speed of this?
Yeah.
Makes you realize how I'm coordinated.
Yeah.
And that's also comes to this.
Right, what you were showing me.
So if they punch, you just do this.
Boom.
Follow me?
Quick
It's
flat.
fat, it's very fast.
Yeah.
So the next thing is this, so you do this,
Uh-huh.
and then slowly bring your elbows in to this position right here. Keep the palms up. This way, facing towards you.
Okay.
So do like this,
Mhm.
and then slowly bring your hands this way.
All right. Well, my left doesn't react at all.
This is one of the advantages to
Yeah.
using the club,
Right.
is that the clubs, you have to use both hands in conjunction.
Yeah.
So that's the second, is the uppercut. The third thing I do a lot of is, and you, by the way, you can't do the uppercut. You can't do the uppercut in the opposite direction because the hands are too close.
Uh-huh.
But you can do it this way. You follow me?
Right. Mhm.
And I even have something where sometimes I go this way. Try this.
Feels like I'm rowing.
But
it
it's
feels
hard
so-
to do.
Very hard to do.
Really hard to do.
Yeah.
See, what you've seen everybody else do with clubs is they're all just doing the same stuff.
Yeah.
And these are a little heavier than
I can
others.
feel that right here.
What you,
through my
what you,
muscles and my
so
grip.
this, you follow me?
Mhm.
When I did knife stuff years ago. So this is just one more drill that you can do for the stabilizer. So that you can do them palm up, you can do them palm down. You can do them this way.
Mhm.
This is like the Bruce Lee,
Right.
and of course it's very slow, but this isn't very slow.
Right.
That isn't very slow. That hand, when the hand comes up across this,
Mhm.
you're not just pushing into them like this.
Right.
You're not doing that.
You're just
You're
snapping
doing-
it, just snapping it.
You're doing this, it's cutting across
Mhm.
their arm. That's the goal.
Right.
It's not bouncing off the arm.
Right.
It cuts through the arm, that cuts through the arm. If the other hand comes into play, this, I'm not big into the wind tension, which that kind of, this sort of looks like. I'm more into the heavy hand kick. So, we do this, we do this, we do palms up, we do palms down, we do this way, we do this way. And these are speed drills.
Right.
But another speed drill I learned is this, from Muay Thai.
Mhm.
Where we just do this for 3-minute rounds. When you get all tense and tight in here, you just want to relax the hands, and you can extend them further and further. You can do chopping like this. Feel that?
Yeah.
Makes you
I
really.
just feel it's amazing to disconnect with this on here. You know what I mean?
Well,
It's
that's
just-
why.
It's unbelievable.
That's why
Yeah.
I used my left hand a lot,
Yeah.
but when I stick right at fight, I use my predominant arm
Right.
for the extension. Doesn't do me any good to extend this with my shoulders forward.
Right.
He's gonna hit me with his stick. But this also trains me more for southpaw.
Mhm.
So, you have this, this, and by the way, my hands are resting on my chest.
Uh-huh.
I tell this to people when they box. I say, you know, I get a lot of guys and they're like, their hands are out like this. I'm like, don't do that. Bring your elbows in, but you've got to roll the shoulders, or you'll never get the hands out. You
Yeah,
don't roll the
I-
shoulder
yeah.
like that,
Yeah. I got
but
it.
you're not forcing it.
Right.
It's relaxed.
Yeah.
So this,
That also allows me to stand upright more
so
too.
you can stand up right where you don't want to be so bent over that you can't move. The other thing is, and then I lay your arms against your, like if you're a hold up tray,
Mhm.
just lay your arms against your body.
Right.
So now they're in the right position, then bring them straight up. And it's more comfortable, rather than trying to hold your arms away from your body like this. If you see probably from the back, you'll see my arms are out. Now when I put them in close, you can't even see the arms problems from back
I
there.
feel more open.
The other thing is, if you go to punch, and you're punching and your arms are like this, you're telegraphing, the contour of the body is being telegraphed. When the elbow comes in, you don't give up that. But am I stronger here, or am I stronger here? Much stronger. I'm not gonna get tired as fast.
Mhm.
So I roll the shoulder, pull the hip in, roll the shoulder, and I'm right here. And I can launch this really fast from right here. I can launch this really fast, which brings me to the next series of things. I can either punch straight. A lot of guys, particularly the way you are right now, because this will be good on the camera. Right now, I can hit you right in the jaw. Because of where your hands are. Right there. I can hit you right in the jaw.
Yeah, so I got
If
it.
I did this, I wouldn't have been able to get my hand in. you have also picked up on my elbow.
Mhm.
And then the last one is I turn my hand over. By turning the hand over, I protect my jaw. By turning the hand over, I can punch around your arm, and I can also punch to your body easier. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the exercise I do for this is real simple. I do punching straight. Again, feet can be parallel in the beginning. And again, don't just punch with the arms.
Sure.
Think about where your body is going to be in relation to how you're punching. That is, where's the central line? So I'm looking at this line on the ground,
Okay.
and I'm putting my punches every time right on that.
Right.
I'm always target shooting. When I go to practice with a rifle, I don't just pull up the gun and shoot. I'm always targeting everything. So you would be targeting a guy's face, whatever level it might be.
Right.
But relax. Relax, relax. So when you're like this, watch how much faster my arms are going to move. You're using a lot of strength here.
Right.
What I want you to do is this. Now that's not my arms.
Right.
That's not my arms.
Yeah.
That's the same thing we did when we did this. We can do the opposite direction too, by the way. Follow me?
Yep.
We can come this direction and do this. This is another exercise I love that I use for the waist. So we're punching this way. I'll get back to that exercise in a second. So I'm doing this. Now I can change my stance and do this if I want, or I can remain in there and really try to learn that extension and those hands out. Next, the fist. Follow me? This way, horizontal. So first is vertical, then horizontal, and then the last one is the hands are upside down. And we see this when we do this movement, this.
Right.
If you're doing this, you're never going to be able to do it.
Right. Can do
You
that.
need to pull your arms back, like my buddy Gustavo says, pouring out a glass of water. So your arms are being pulled back. This is going to help with those muscles that deliver the punch. That added extra weight, but also the weight of the weight helps torque that arm and stretch those muscles out a little better.
Okay.
So theoretically, you can punch upside down, I guess. Feel that?
Yeah.
Relax your shoulders. There you go. Stand up straight. There you go. Do you feel that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So now like this. So horizontal, horizontal, and then upside down, upside down. And again, the body motion.
Right.
You can do it like this if you want,
Just use your arms.
but I'd rather stretch a little bit more.
Right.
Not lean. You're not leaning forward trying to do this. You want your body erect. Because what you're trying to do is teach your shoulders, and you'll also notice I'm rolling my shoulder.
But I'm still coming at that center line.
And you always think about where you're, don't just hollowly or
Right.
empty, I call it.
Right.
Just be pushing. So this is with all the clubs relaxed. We can do all these same things with the clubs tight. Next thing is how to turn the elbows over. For Muay Thai, we want to turn the hand over. This hand's relaxed and goes against our body this way. With the clubs, it looks more like this. Well, speed-wise, it looks like this. It's just very, very fast. This. It's this. You can hit your own hand if you want for feedback, but I don't ever do that. You can go like this. This protects your head. This protects this. Of course, you can do backhands. You can do upward stretch. There's a lot of other stuff you can do after this, but you want to get this idea of rolling this. You can do figure eights. You can do a lot of stuff. But the important part is this. And then this.
Yep.
So you're doing this. You can start off this way like everything else, this way, just with the arm movement in the beginning to learn this. This stays in close to the body, not out. This way. And then after, when this flips up, this flips down. Sort of like windshield wiper in a car. If guys are having trouble, sometimes I'll have them even just do this without moving the elbows. And this is good too for the carpal tunnel stuff too. So it's done this way.
So I'm here.
If you're confused, do one hand, drop this down. Do this. Just bring it straight up from here and right to here. Just this. Straight up from here right to here. Drop it down.
Straight up.
Just to get the beginning,
Yeah.
if you're really confused. No, drop it.
Oh, trouble.
Like that. This. You don't have to raise it up like this. This. You have to look over the, like this.
Yep.
Drop it down. Do this. Perfect. Drop it down. Do this. Drop it down. Now, once you get that, you're just doing this. Watch my palms are up. I'm turning my palm out. Because what I'm trying to get you to do is this.
I got it.
Learn this. Learn this motion.
Turn it down.
Yes. Like that. You're doing it more with your right than your left.
Yeah.
With your left, you're just bringing it straight up. Try to turn your wrist to one. Like that. Drop your elbow.
The left is just so.
Go ahead. That's all you gotta raise it.
Sounds
So
exactly.
if you have trouble with your left hand, just do your left right now and not even your right. Just lay your right there. And go back down. Turn like that. Now you got it. Do you see when you consciously did it?
Yeah.
So this is what I want. You're going to say, well, what's the purpose of this? I'm going to show you in just a second. So first we do this. Okay. Then we bring the clubs up here, and I do this. The second part. Third part, I turn my waist, and I'm not stopping here. I bring this elbow even further. This. And I'm turning my body. And again, I'm not doing this and getting off balance, because I'm turning that, it's this waist. I can do it like this. I can do it like this, but I want to turn this body more like this. You're trying to do this, you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
You can bring it here, watch, I'm going to do it low. Watch this waist. That's that waist movement that I was showing before.
Right.
So you've done a number of things. You've done the elbows up. You've done the waist. You've done the turning. Every single one of these things. But here is the important factor. Concentrate on the waist as much as the arms. Concentrate on driving from the feet. So even the most basic movement, this, I do this way, you do this. We do this with heavy clubs. It doesn't look right with these light clubs. But the purpose of this, watch this movement. That's the same as
What you just.
this, the same as this. If that makes any sense.
Absolutely.
So whenever you bring a club like this, you come here, and then I'm switching, and I'm going to turn the hand back over. Turn the hand back over. This is different than what you see other people doing. You follow me?
Right.
There's so much stuff you can do, because now the hands have to learn to. And that actually looks like this way. It's this,
Right.
and you're right here.
I'm ready. I'm here.
You follow me?
Yeah.
So every movement, this, he punches. You see how I always close in?
Yep.
This is like a bomb going on, like this. But this little flip, you felt
I can feel it. Oh yeah.
You can feel it shock your arm.
Yeah. Right. That's my moment.
It goes.
Yeah.
It's not a karate block. It's not this.
Right.
It's not this.
No, it's just a short.
It's because it's exploding like this, and this is exploding like this. And dude, if you put them together like this,
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying? I mean, it's this, this. There's so many little variations, and everybody always thinks they can hit you with the second hand.
Right. Yeah.
But if your body's in close this way, and you're here, you're here like this. This, we just did this first exercise we
Yeah,
did.
we did. Yeah.
Second exercise we did was this.
Okay.
So we can do this, not just this. Show. So we can do, see this, clubs turn,